Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over possible THORPE Park projects that could be coming within the next couple of years. Now, if you do go on to enjoy the video, make sure to like, subscribe, anything that makes me know you guys like the content, and as well as that, if you want to get the full capability out of this video, definitely go into the video settings and set the video quality to 1080p, because YouTube does seem to be lowering that automatically. So, without further ado, let's get into the video and get into some possible THORPE Park projects. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about in today's video is the possible addition of a brand new hotel. Now, if you've been to the park in the last couple of years, you will know that THORPE Park actually do have a hotel. It is called the THORPE Shark Hotel, but when you do put it in perspective with some of the other Merlin parks around Europe and in the UK, it kind of looks a bit puny. Now, obviously, when you have theme parks like Alton Towers with multiple pieces of accommodation, obviously you've got multiple hotels, campsites and everything at Alton Towers, and even places like Legoland at least having at least 2 hotels. Now, obviously, way back before the THORPE Shark Hotel, THORPE Park actually did have a temporary hotel called the Crash Pad. It was in cooperation with a company called Snoozebox and was kind of like a little sort of temporary hotel to kind of test whether or not it'd be good for the park. And then also after that, they obviously then planned out a brand new hotel that would be running until 2024, sort of like an extended temporary hotel. And that is obviously the THORPE Shark Hotel. So at some point in 2024, we will be saying goodbye to this hotel, but possibly could we be seeing the addition of a brand new, bigger and better hotel to really fit with the THORPE Park atmosphere and fit in with all the other Merlin parks. Now, obviously, ages and ages ago, THORPE Park actually did do a planned mission for a brand new hotel just off the side of the island, and was actually planned to have a boat transportation system to the island. And I feel like maybe these plans could re-emerge because they were actually accepted at one point, but THORPE kind of passed it down and then made the THORPE Shark Hotel and kind of did a little bit of tester instead. Now, obviously, talking of testers, if you've been on the Swarm recently, outside the shop container, you will see some sort of iPad looking things, and if you do turn one of these on and you do start doing the little sort of questionnaire that comes with it, one of the questions will actually state, would you think about staying in a brand new hotel at the park? So it does seem to say that they are trying to do something to try and gather information about whether or not it'd be good. Obviously, they've done that with the THORPE Shark Hotel, and it does seem to be going quite well. So hopefully in 2024 or beyond that, or even a little bit earlier, we could possibly see a brand new hotel coming to the resort. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about in today's video is actually something that's interested me for quite a while. Now, those of you that don't know, in 2012, THORPE Park opened a brand new roller coaster called the Swarm and was pretty much a massive success. It was mainly themed around sort of like a post-apocalyptic world where these aliens have invaded and pretty much destroyed the area you walk on. And it was a really interesting theme that I feel like could have been expanded on a little bit more. So I do feel like maybe expanding on this lore and expanding on this story could really benefit THORPE Park quite a bit. Obviously, if you've been on the Swarm before, you will know as you go into the break one, you do see Site A. Now, I have discussed Site A on this channel quite a lot in the past. Basically, for those of you that don't know, it's basically a site that THORPE Park did create, like a man-made island, ready for a brand new coaster to enter there in 2015, but obviously instead of that we got Darren Brown's Ghost Train, and it sort of just sat there not really doing much. So I feel like maybe expanding on the Swarm area could really sort of enter a new stage for THORPE Park, in sort of the way that Nemesis did at Alton Towers with Nemesis Subterra. And actually, very interestingly, this was actually supposed to happen at one point. THORPE did discuss a possible expansion to the Swarm storyline in more of a dark ride style thing. Maybe not necessarily something like Nemesis Subterra, but maybe like a trackless ride or sort of something like maybe a boat ride. I don't know. There's limitless possibilities for THORPE to do with this kind of theme, and I feel like it could really spice up the whole area a bit. Obviously, with it being quite secluded on its own little island, I feel like maybe expanding that to that second island could create, and open up a whole new area for the park, on par with stuff like Amity. Obviously, with Amity being pretty much the biggest part of the park, having an expansion to the Swarm could pretty much have that as a runner-up and could really, bring the guests in and get guests more involved in the Swarm storyline and, make them understand a little bit more about what actually happened. And I feel like, if that happened, I wouldn't be too bothered with it. I would be quite excited for it. But then again, a new coaster is really interesting. I probably would prefer that a little bit more. But, you know, I'm always up for a good dark ride, and I feel like if Thorpe do this, I would be very, very pleased with it. Okay, so next thing I'm going to be talking about in today's video, it's actually something I did discuss a couple of weeks ago in my Thorpe Park teaser video. Now, this is the possible retheme of Angry Birds Land. Now, obviously, if you've been to Thorpe Park recently, you will know there is a horrific sight as you walk past KFC, and that's Angry Birds Land. Now, the main problem I have with this area is the fact it takes away the sort of Amity feel, you know, of the sort of general area that is tidal wave, you know, Amity, you know, the Speedway, all of that. It kind of takes away from the sort of atmosphere of that, and it did actually used to be quite a nice area. However, you know, when they turned it into Angry Birds Land was actually quite a big thing. You know, Angry Birds itself was quite popular at the time, but now that it's kind of deteriorating, I would like to see them do something with it. Now, like I said, when I was discussing this in my teaser video, I did mention that a possible futuristic theme could be coming to this area, and they could be revamping it. But to me personally, I would, you know, much prefer it just to be turned back into sort of an Amity area. You know, have it as more of like a sort of transition into stealth. And not really only Amity being improved on. I feel like that whole general area, maybe the Speedway having a little bit more to it, you know, the Tetley Tea area, the, you know, spinning teacups. I feel like expanding the Amity area, you know, will be quite a strong point for Thorpe. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to be discussing in today's video is actually suggested by one of you guys. Now, the person in the comment section of my video I created last week was discussing about what they thought could potentially happen to the Walking Dead ride. And they said as follows. They said that potentially we could be seeing permanent actors in there, and possibly some renewing of some theming, and actually recreating the exterior to make it a little bit more interesting. Now, I will, you know, leave the link in the description to this person's channel, and, you know, just to give them a little bit of credit, but potentially, you know, this is actually quite a good idea. I feel like if Thorpe Park wants to go forward with the Walking Dead ride, I do feel like possibly we could be seeing a more thematic and longer experience for the Walking Dead ride, potentially more actors being in there, some changes to the story, and even some changes to the exterior of the pyramid. Now, what this person said was basically maybe for the outside of the pyramid, we could potentially be seeing some flashing lights, we could be seeing some alarms, and just making it feel like more of a safe zone, and maybe feeling like the safe zone has evolved a bit since the walkers attacked. Now, obviously, if you did see my video last week, you know I was discussing about whether or not the Walking Dead would actually return. However, if it does return, I do think this is a possible way for them to go, and kind of make it a little bit more, you know, thematic, and sort of upgrade it to make it look a lot better. Now, not necessarily doing this for a full attraction for the year. I still do really want a coaster, but I do feel like them sort of renewing it would really enjoy it. You know, make people enjoy it a little bit more, and, you know, gather a little bit more, you know, revenue and attendance to the park, knowing that they're actually trying to, you know, evolve their different rides and evolve the experiences for different people. Okay, so that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. I'm sorry it was a little bit of a shorter one this week, but I'm kind of running out of ideas a little bit. So if you guys do have any video ideas, definitely leave them down in the comments below, because it will be quite a big help. But without further ado, I will see you guys later.